One of the things that a lot of our cadets struggle with is what their future plans will be academically. Some of them are struggling right now with thinking about whether or not they're going to get an MBA or a Master's of Science in Engineering. What would you recommend?
Well, um, MBAs are for people that want to work on Wall Street, want to work for consulting firms, um, want to work for other companies in their finance department or their administrative department. Um, what you're talking about is business administration or administering business. And even secretaries are called administrators. So I don't think, it's not my recommendation to waste your time. It's a hard, grueling course. It takes 2 years, or you can go on a accelerated course for a year. But as an electrical engineer, and since you're interested in this course, I have to assume that you are interested in becoming an entrepreneur. And as an entrepreneur, you need to learn everything possible that you can learn about your electrical engineering, the career that you want to pursue. There are so many different areas of electrical engineering that you need to narrow it down. But one of the best ways to do it is to work for a company for a while and see what's out there. But if you can, before you work for the company, or if you can work for the company and let them pay for your education, you certainly should get your master's degree first. You should do that before you get married, or at least if you get married before you have your children, because once that happens, you get diverted. You will probably go working extra hours to earn extra money. That if you're not married, you don't need to do that. At night, you can concentrate on learning your curriculum, your area of interest. When you start a company, all of your time is going to be devoted to running the business, to developing your products, to growing the business, and raising finance and keeping track of the money that you need to run the company. Now, you don't need to be an expert at these things. You need to be an expert at engineering, electrical engineering, and the products you're trying to develop, products you're trying to manufacture. You can hire, the first thing, in fact, that you should do is you should hire an elderly lady to be your bookkeeper with some bookkeeping experience. And she can take care of 90 things that you need to do. She can get a telephone up and operating. She can take care of the arranging for the power for your building. In fact, she can take care of an awful lot of the building maintenance thing. Not that she's going to do the repair, but she can arrange for the insurance that needs to be done. And she keeps track of your accounts receivables, your accounts payables, and she is invaluable. She can run things. You don't need to go to school to learn those things. You can hire people to do those as you grow and as you need them. One of the ways that I ran both companies, and that was by keeping an eye on the cash flow. The cash flow of your business is the life of your business. You don't have to worry about EBITDAs, which is a term you probably never heard of, and I didn't either until I was in business. But you don't need to worry about the depreciation. You don't have to worry about all of these other things that on a financial statement have nothing to do with the cash that's needed to run the company. You can hire an accountant As a matter of fact, initially, you don't need to just hire an accountant. You can have an accountant come in once a month to review what your secretary has done, and he can generate a financial statement. He can go over it. He can teach you the financial statement. You don't need an MBA to learn how to read a financial statement. It's very simple and straightforward. There are two things you have to learn. You have to learn to look for what's called the accounts receivables. That's the money people owe you. The accounts payable are what you owe. You want to make sure that your accounts receivables are greater than your accounts payables. And that way, you won't have any problems. You don't have to have a fancy accountant in there until you get to be bigger. So my suggestion is go for your master's degree, try and get a company that will pay for it, but don't spend more than 2 years at it. In the company, when you get into the company, make sure that the projects that you are given are projects that will accelerate your development in the areas that you want to go in. When I first went to Hughes Aircraft Company, right out of VMI, they put me in a job shuffling papers around. Immediately, I complained to them. They moved me to another division very cheerfully because they wanted me to be happy and they wanted me to grow with the company. So they moved me into an area where they gave me a project. And I did that project. I successfully completed it. And then I told them I wanted to go into a different area, and they accommodated me. So my whole time there was very good. And this has been my experience throughout all of my positions that I've held throughout the electronics industry.
So one of the pieces of advice is to take responsibility for your own career progression, even if you're working in the context of a large company already.
That is a good point. That's one point I wanted to make. Nobody is going to look out for you any better than you are. You have to take your own responsibility into your own hands, and you have to point yourself in the direction that you want to go in. Nobody else is going to do it. That's not only about your job, but your personal finances, your personal investments. Nobody's going to look out for you like you.